This video was originally about why I think Thor is gonna die at the end of Love and Thunder, but while writing that video, I changed my mind and I came to a different conclusion, and now I think the route they're gonna go is that the main casualty of Thor Love and Thunder will be Jane Foster. First off, I would like to mention, Natalie Portman kinda didn't have a good time with these movies. She didn't really want to come back. Taika convinced her to come back. And I don't know if she wants to come back for more, or if she's just coming back for this one. But I'm not even factoring that into the main decision on why I think she's gonna die. That's a story-related reason that we'll get to here in a minute. So, Natalie Portman is returning as Jane Foster in this movie, but the difference between those appearances and this one is that this time she gets powers. She gets to wield Mjolnir and become the Mighty Thor. Now, the character's official name is the Mighty Thor, but I don't really like that name because Thor is also kind of called the Mighty Thor. So I'm just calling him Thor and Jane Foster Thor for the sake of me not getting confused. You can call them whatever you want, though. Now, I have not actually read the Mighty Thor comic books, but I do know the basic premise. Jane Foster gets cancer, and she ends up getting the power of Thor. Now, how she's able to lift Mjolnir, I don't know. Please don't tell me. That's what I'm going to find out in the movie. But when she is using her Thor powers and she whips up into the Thor persona, her body is restored to full health. But the trade-off of this is that it also starts to undo her chemotherapy. So every time she drops the Thor persona, she's actually weaker than she was before. Meaning that being Thor will eventually kill her. And Marvel and Taika Waititi confirmed that the cancer storyline will be in Thor Love and Thunder. Now, how did Jane get cancer? If I had to guess, and this is purely my guess, she got it from the ether and probably broke up with Thor so that he didn't have to deal with her and he could do his stuff while she fought her battle. And then she probably dusted, and that's why she's somehow still alive after 10 years, is because she was gone for 5 and the cancer was getting worse for some years, and now she's back. Alright, Gorr the God Butcher. So his name's pretty self-explanatory. His name is Gorr, and he butchers gods. No real confusion as to what this dude's MO is. Now, he's the main villain of this movie. Now, Gorr is going around killing a bunch of gods because he thinks they failed. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna butcher all of you. That's not his exact quote, but it should be. And speaking of quotes, I was reading this dude's wiki page. He's got some great quotes. And if he doesn't say some of these in the movie, I'm not gonna be happy. I want to hear Christian Bale say some of these quotes. Alright, I have some of these, by the way. Let's read these. My name is Gorr, son of a nameless father, outcast from a forgotten world. I have slain my way through multitudes to stand here at the genesis of all things, blackened by vengeance, wet with holy blood. One simple, still strong in my heart, the dream of a godless age. Like, come on, I want to hear him say that. But I will say, actually, I know this isn't about Gorr, but, like, he has another line. Help you? Help you? Where were you? Where were you when my children were starving? When my wife was screaming for your help? When my mother was being butchered like an animal? Where were you when we needed our gods? I'm gonna need Christian Bale to say those 2 lines. Alright, so we get a glimpse. Don't worry, this relates back to why I think Jane's gonna die. So we do get a glimpse of the absolute destruction Gorr can cause in the trailer in that one shot that's taken straight out of the comics. And I mean literally taken straight out of the comics. Now, I would expect someone with God Butcher as their title to be killing a lot of gods in the movie. And if there's no big casualties, then what's even the point? And we know there's a fair amount of gods in this movie. We have 2 Thors, we have Bast, we have Valkyrie, we have Star-Lord, kind of, and we have Zeus and all the gods of Olympus. In fact, I have a feeling that Gorr is gonna fight the gods of Olympus in the same way that Wanda fought the Illuminati. That being less of a fight and more of a massacre. I think all of them, I don't think any of those guys are making it out of the movie. They're gonna be the easy kills. Russell Crowe is just gonna get just destroyed, and I'm gonna love it. I love carnage in my superhero movies. It's so fun. Yeah, so I think there are going to be a lot of casualties in this movie. There's going to be a lot of death. But to really feel the impact of what Gorr can do, he needs to kill off one of the main characters that we love. Otherwise, does he really earn the God Butcher title? I don't think so. And I think part of the beauty of having not one but two Thors in the same movie is that you can kill off one of them and still have a Thor. So I give you the sacrifice of Jane Foster. Now, not the killing of Jane Foster, but the sacrifice of Jane Foster. I think she's going to sacrifice herself to make sure Thor does not get killed by Gorr. And so even though Gorr won't kill Jane, you'll still feel the impact that she has to die for Gorr to be able to lose. Thor is going through some shit in this movie. His arc is about finding out who he is and what exactly his place in the universe is, even though that's kind of been his arc in almost all of his previous appearances, but that's besides the point. We're not here to talk about Thor's arc today. We're here to talk about Jane Foster getting killed. He's no longer king of Asgard. His superheroing days are over. He doesn't really feel like he has a home with the Guardians. He doesn't know what exactly he's supposed to be anymore. He is on his own odyssey, one where he will be accompanied by Korg, hell yeah, Jane, and probably Valkyrie, if I had to guess. That's going to be our little group in this movie. Now, there will 100% be a battle at New Asgard where Gorr goes there with the intent to kill as many people as he can. And I know we just got New Asgard, but I don't think New Asgard's making it out of this movie. I think that whole thing, I think that part where Thor is standing in fire, I think that's New Asgard. In fact, I think that's probably happens earlier on in the movie, and that's when Jane comes into the story, and then they have to go on their journey and go stop Gorr. That's my guess. So just as Thor thinks he's found peace, he loses everything again. Now, Gorr's massacre of the gods will bring him and Thor in conflict many times, and I think Thor's going to be losing. I think a big thing in this movie is going to be that Thor alone cannot defeat Gorr. In fact, I don't think the two Thors together can beat Thor. So here's the actual theory. In the third act of this film, or leading up to the third act of this film, Jane Foster is going to come to the conclusion that they need one ultra-powerful Thor, not two separate Thors. And I think she's going to accept the fact that she needs to give her power up, and give it up, so that way Thor can get a power boost, and he'll get to dual-wield Stormbreaker and Mjolnir, and he'll be able to defeat Gorr. And it'll be the most powerful we have ever seen Thor. This dude will be damn near unstoppable. And even though Gorr gets a few licks in and almost takes Thor out, Thor at this point is not a god, he just is God, plain and simple. And he butchers the God Butcher. Also, I would like the line, there's a line in the comics, I think Volstagg says it in the comic, but Volstagg's dead, so they'll have to give it to someone else, where they say something along the lines of, the problem with Gorr killing all the gods is that once he kills them all, there will still be one left. Him. I want to hear that in the movie, too. And now, because Jane no longer has her powers because she had to give them to Thor, she can no longer survive. Her chemo has been undone to the point that she's pretty much like a walking corpse, and she'll probably die in Thor's arms. And the idea, and now the cool part is, Natalie Portman doesn't have to come back if she doesn't want to, there's no big obligation, and also, Taika hits us with the emotional gut punch that he does like to put in the ends of his very silly movies. And now, left with both Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, Thor can give one up, and as much as I love Stormbreaker, I want him to give Stormbreaker to Beta Ray Bill. And have Thor 5, yes, Thor 5, be Thor and Beta Ray Bill going on an adventure. So yes, to wrap this up, I think Jane Foster will be the main physical and emotional casualty of Thor Love and Thunder. It makes sense for her to give her life, finally giving in to her fate and her destiny, to save the man she loves, and in that process, basically save the universe and save all the gods and all the people that Gorr has not been able to affect yet. But hey, I could be wrong. Thor could die. Neither of them could die. They could both die. But it's just my theory. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. There you guys go. What do you think of that theory that Jane Foster's going to die in Thor Love and Thunder? I actually think it's a really cool theory, and I would actually be satisfied if they went that route. I think it would work out for the story that I assume Taika Waititi is trying to tell, but only time will tell, and we will see in not that long, actually, when Thor comes out in July. So what are some of your theories for Thor Love and Thunder? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, leave a like on this video, subscribe, click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from the MCU HQ. That's going to be it. Have a great day, guys.